The situation in Southern California is growing more dire tonight. This is an aerial view of some of the fires. You're going to see the street names because it's almost impossible to see anything else out there except for the flames. Strong winds are now fueling a total of 6 fires across the Los Angeles area. The newest one broke out in the Hollywood Hills tonight.
It's being called the Sunset Fire. It's forced a new round of evacuations. That fire has grown to about 20 acres, dwarfed in size by the largest out in LA, the Palisades Fire, which is nearly 25 square miles. That fire alone is believed to have destroyed 1,000 buildings. The second largest fire, the Eaton Fire, has killed 5 people and burned more than 100 buildings. Those 2 fires currently burn uncontained. President Joe Biden has canceled his upcoming trip to Italy, his final foreign trip of his presidency, in order to stay stateside and monitor the response to the fires. Certainly, Colorado knows wind-driven urban firestorms like those. This month marks 3 years since the Marshall Fire.
And 9 News reporter Spencer Soisher is outside the Capitol tonight. And Spencer, Colorado is now preparing to help out the firefighters in California.
Yeah, the state's director of fire prevention and control says that they got the call from California earlier today that they were looking for 200 additional fire engines and some multi-mission aircrafts. Colorado has 2 of those aircrafts. The state says the firefighters left Colorado today to help Cal Fire. That's California's state fire department. They're bringing somewhere between 40 to 50 fire engines as well as one of those multi-mission aircrafts. The plane doesn't carry water or anything like that, but what's special about it is that it's equipped with fancy cameras that can help with mapping and showing hotspots. They can see through smoke with infrared and color sensors, and that can help keep firefighters safe on the ground. Colorado's Homeland Security Emergency Management Team says it's also working with the state of California to help them through this crisis.
So a good example would be the Marshall Fire, right? So something very similar, high-speed, wind-driven. Our Division of Fire Prevention and Control is engaged in making sure that they're working the fire, and then we're doing things like shelters. We're to get food. Where are we going to put people? What are we going to do for long-term, and then starting the long-term recovery.
And it's not just that state resources are helping to bring help to California. The Castle Rock is also sending 3 additional people as well as a brush truck to help fight fires. The Colorado's Fire Prevention and Control says that they think that some of the firefighters that are headed to California are not necessarily going to be on the front lines of that fire, but they're going to help with some of the run-of-the-mill calls, the medical calls, the kitchen fires that may not get attended to while it's all hands on deck dealing with the wildfires. Live at the Capitol, Spencer Soisher, 9 News.
Kathy, monitoring that wind out there is one thing, and then we've got snow here, so there's something to pay attention to all places.
And Kim, as you know, there are a lot of Coloradans that have friends and family out there. You and I, our boys are out there, so we're monitoring this situation very, very closely. The Santa Ana wind event is a seasonal wind event, so folks in Southern California are used to the wind, but it's particularly dangerous this time as an area of low pressure to the south with a counterclockwise wind flow and high pressure over central California and Nevada with the clockwise flow has created this tight pressure gradient that is starting to loosen and ease. We're seeing a cold front come in from the north tonight that is going to bring some snow for the morning drive, cold, windy weather, and enough snow to affect the drive in the morning. So be prepared for that. We've called a weather impact day for the first part of the day. Temperatures are already in the teens, and with wind, we can get some flash freeze events and some ice. We're already seeing that snow filling into the northern and central mountains. Advisories for snow are south and east of Denver, Castle Rock, Palmer Divide out to Lyman. Mainly for the wind, the snow is not going to be that heavy, but it's all about the timing. Snow begins around 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, filling in during the morning drive, becoming heavy between 5 a.m. and 10 a.m. And then the snow is done, but the cold and wind stick around. So not a big snow event for Denver. It's all about the timing, and we'll have much more on the weather you'll wake up to coming up.
Months after a man was shot and killed while driving through a neighborhood in Aurora, his family honored his memory tonight.
9 News reporter Colton Chavez is along after speaking with his family.
Well, Kyle, Alexis Valdebita would have turned 21 years old today. His family's wish is that police find whoever is responsible so they can get justice and closure. Loved ones say Alexis Valdebita lived every day like a celebration.
He was the el ambiente. He was like the vibe, you know. He would like come. He like, hey, what's up, y'all? Like, how y'all doing, you know?
They gathered to celebrate his life and the mark he left on them.
And yeah, I got this for him, for his memory.
Bianca Moran has dated Alexis since high school. It was almost 6 months ago when police say he was driving through this neighborhood off North Dayton Street in Aurora when someone shot into the car, killing him and leaving behind Bianca and their 2-year-old daughter.
Because she's going to grow up without her father. Like, to this day, she asked me, where's Dad? And I'm like, I'm sorry, Mama. He's sleeping right now.
Aurora police say they're still searching for the person who fired the shots.
Like, whoever did this to him, just know he's not alone. He has all these people here, and we're not giving up until we get justice. Justice for Alexis!
Justice
Happy 21st birthday, baby!
for the man who never got to see his 21st birthday. And for his daughter, who Bianca says will grow up with reminders of who her father was.
The crazy part is, when my daughter sees it, she kisses it. And that's crazy, because how she knows, like, this is her dad's name.
And Aurora police want your help with this case. If you know anything at all, call Metro Denver Crime Stoppers.
We now know the name of a teenager who was shot and killed during a home invasion at an apartment complex in Aurora. The coroners identified the 16-year-old girl as Audrina Arrington. Denver Public Schools says she was a student at North High. Police say the girl was shot when 2 men got inside an apartment off East Jewel yesterday morning. Police are still looking for them.
The former police chief of Morrison, who was placed on leave before the entire department was dissolved, has a new job. The city of Walsenburg, down in Orfano County, hired him to lead their brand new police department. The town of Morrison placed Bill Vanelli on administrative leave on November 4th. They have repeatedly refused to tell us why he was put on leave, only saying it's an investigation. And now there is no police department. The Jefferson County Sheriff's Office took over law enforcement after the town said it couldn't afford to keep it running, though the investigation into Vanelli is ongoing. The mayor of Walsenburg says he didn't know about the investigation until a couple of days ago, despite plenty of media coverage. City officials say they did a background check and nothing bad popped up. At a city council meeting last night, council members got the chance to ask Vanelli about it. He downplayed it.
When they put you on leave, they didn't tell you why?
They gave me 3 policy violations. They said
Policy violations.
overtime and compensation, grants, and recruitment and retention policy. That's how vague it was.
The city council decided to move forward with his employment, but decided not to put him under contract. That means if they learn from Morrison that something turns up in that investigation, they could go back on the hiring. The city of Walsenburg hasn't had a police department in about a decade, so Vanelli is going to start it from scratch.
New perspective tonight on a crash on the western slope that sent a tow truck driver to the hospital. The State Patrol dash camera video can be tough to watch. It's going to show the crash. Fortunately, that tow truck driver is expected to be okay. You hear him shouting for help, "I'm not okay." That's the moment a pickup truck crashed into the patrol car Sunday night. The impact pinned Alex Salgado between the car and his tow truck. This was on I-70 near Wolcott. Alex was helping a driver who got stuck in the snow. CSP says his lights were on at the time. A friend tells us Alex has a broken pelvis and internal injuries.
He's very calm and positive about what's going on, but I think, you know, some of it might just be he's trying to be tough. He's a very tough guy.
CSP says the driver who caused the crash was arrested on suspicion of DUI. No one else was hurt.
Colorado Parks and Wildlife will not pause or delay the next wolf release in our state. Wolves were the topic of nearly 7 hours of discussion at the Colorado Parks and Wildlife Commission meeting today. More than 70 people showed up to speak. Ranchers had petitioned the commission to put a pause on the next wolf release to fine-tune some processes like animal carcass management and speeding up department responses when a wolf kill may be involved. But the commission voted 10-1 to start releasing the wolves again soon.
And so whenever you're in a day like that, like there's still a sense of winners and losers in there, and maybe that's the mixed emotion I feel. Like the ranchers having some uncertainty. Are we going to follow through? Is it going to work? And words are words until they're followed up with actions.
Davis says they will be bulking up their range rider program, hiring more people who will help ranchers keep eyes on their herds. The director, Davis, also strongly suggested that some of the CPW team is already in Canada, prepping for the wolf capture, which he said needs to happen soon.